general Nigerian universities. And one of them, from my analysis, is that there are numerous themes or areas which the publishers can go in for and become specialized in those areas. I would not, as much as possible, I would downplay comparison between Nigerian scene and the European scene. But I know that if we go by the European scene, there are some publishers that you can associate them with particular type of literature. And anything, to the extent that even in an academic environment, if you are looking for A, B, C, D books, if it is not published by a social publisher, they say, oh, whatever it is. And then, of course, the other thing that makes life easy in the publishing industry, again, which is not peculiar to the North, is the issue of digital publication. Though we started it, digital publication, it has made life easy. I remember those days when, if you want to publish anything, the problem of negotiation, print, and so on. So all these processes have been taken care of. If you get the right publisher, within maximum of 48 hours or 36 hours, at least you can see the picture given for you to you so that you can assess whether is the message sent is correct or not. So when you look at it within these perspectives, and from my experience of recently too, I ran into one small girl in Kano. You know, you have to snuff around, especially in that Kurmi market where you have all sorts of books. I ran into one small girl. Well, I don't think she should be around 20-25. She has already written about. Okay. One house, comparatively small girl, huh? Okay. Already she has to her contribution about 7 books. And do you know how she managed it? It is her father that is sponsoring her. I've been looking for this woman in BBC, this Jamila something. Tangaza, I want to connect her with her so that they can interview her. She tells the world her stories, how she started it, and how she's going about it. Probably others can pick up from there. So opportunities, strength are there in terms of opportunities too. And more importantly too, if we go by the recent education policy, where right from the primary school, indigenous languages are supposed to be introduced. These are areas that require some kind of inroad. But I don't think, because as I said, apart from my practical experience, I do snuff around, go to those chunk markets and see what is happening in reality. Yeah. So probably, do I continue? No, we can talk a lot. Well, he is a professor after all. Huh? Okay, do I? Let's give let me give him 25 years old.
I wish. Why I say young is that when we wanted to start, our first source of research is that, do we have other publishing firms in the North? And what are their approaches to content, the professional approaches? Then we learned about the Ahmadu Bello University Publishing House. Because I remember we in Mina, the Abaka Gimba, we ran out of selling its titles. So when we contacted the publisher in Ibadan, they said no, they don't have the right to publish it against Ahmadu. Okay, so there is Ahmadu Bello and some other publishing houses. But the first thing I realized as a bookseller and as a publisher is that the North, in terms of books, does not consume its own product. Let's start from schools, the primary schools, the secondary schools. Look at the curricula, look at the syllabi, look at the books they give our children. We realize that it's still what we have from the South. I'm from the Southwest, so I know those books. I know Evans, I know Macmillan, I know all those publishing. But the North has a peculiar culture that you can extract its books from. It has its own culture that is clearly different from other parts of the country. That when we have educational researchers, well, they can sit down and extract contents for our students. But most of our schools, both public and private, they still rely on publishers down there. That is one. Then secondly, there are other general challenges. Challenges of power, challenges of funds, challenges of even religious challenges. Because for instance, when we published My Life as an Almajiri, and we started introducing it to schools, the first thing is that don't talk about Almajiri. I said, why? And the funniest aspect is that there are even Muslim schools. You don't talk about Almajiri. I said, but we need to address the issue of Almajiri. So the challenges of cultural misrepresentation is there. So all this pocket of challenges adds to the ones generally. Yeah. In terms of the non-implementation of the national book policy, for instance, if you want to buy paper, you want to buy materials, you are still going to pay through your noses. All those ones are there. But peculiar to the North, I can identify those two for now.
Okay, so I think that's an interesting take on it. The issue of cultural content and who creates the product and who uses the product. I need to follow up on that. Does it really matter where a book is published? Do you think it matters where a book is published?
Cultural interfaces rather, they are very, very important. It's not as if we want to make it exclusive that the North should read from the North. No. But if there are, for instance, we read from the Southwest, so we know about them. So if there are books published here, they will still go there and they will know about. So, and some of these ethnic, religious problems we will have when we grow up on social media, we start fighting, they will have understood that, okay, these are the rudiments through books.
Okay, thank you. And you've had your entire career in northern Nigeria, mostly in Zaria, and then you've had a lot of experience as a consultant. In terms of cultural content, in terms of cultural output of northern Nigeria in Nigerian literature, how significant do you think this has been over the last few 6-7 decades?
Well, publishing as it relates to culture, to me, not much has been done. I'll say refer you back to what transpired about an hour ago. What is required really is the capacity of the publishers to induce or sensitize would-be writers. Create an area, say, can you write on this for us? If that effort is made, much will be written and published. But one more important thing which we need to know is that it's not the writing per se that matters, but who does the writing. So in other words, if you commission set of people to write on particular theme, especially the culture we are talking about, let's have a lead writer.
A need for that certificate?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because, for example, if we go by what you're saying with regards to buying or selling, the person, the lead author's name matters a lot in extent of acceptability or not of any product. I give you a simple example. There is this man, Sheikh Jafar, that died, though they say something happened, but the important thing, he died. You realize that it was after his death that he became more popular and more famous. Because that single act made people to have more confidence in him. I know, I'm also his follower. So what I'm saying in essence that it's just like in academic environment. When you are writing, you are publishing. It matters a lot. If it's a joint authorship, it matters a lot who is the lead editor. And if you are also writing for yourself, if you don't research in level, whatever you write, not many people pay attention to it. So that's one thing that publishers, not necessarily in the North, will have to think about. You can see people like Chema Achebe, Wole Soyinka, and the rest, including the dramatists, directly or indirectly, they try to find a way of linking whatever they are doing or they have done to say it's a derivative of A, B, C, D. So the important thing generally is that there has to be somebody who the target audience have confidence in. And once you have it, it makes life very easy. The acceptability, the sellability, and whatever of it becomes very easy.
Okay, I think Professor, you've hit a very interesting note, because I'm sure most of the young people here, young writers and those who are interested in writing, they have complained that their voices are not heard because there are other people who already have profiles. But if we do not listen to these people and publish that they have to have a standing.
No, I didn't say so. Probably you got me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. For example, a young writer like this man, if he decides to write in a particular era, what stops him from asking somebody whom he knows people are familiar with to write the foreword or to write the introduction? I'm not saying that it must be a joint. Get somebody that is good in that area to write the foreword.
Okay.
Many people have approached me when they write their books. Okay, please, can you write this for me? I say, write whatever you want me to write. Then I will edit it for you. Because I don't have the time to write. Write whatever you want me to write. When you write it, bring it. I will edit it. And then I'll sign. Chicken angama.
Okay.
That is the easiest way.
Okay. So if I understand what the professor has said, the professor is arguing for a system similar to sponsorship, all right, but this time it's in terms of standing, yes, of authority, of lending authority to younger writers and helping them get out there, whether it's writing a foreword or writing a review. We'll come back to this issue. All right, but Nur'din, you are more into your publishing is more of novels, more of popular writing, popular literature. What are the problems that you as a publisher and as a bookshop owner, what are the problems, what are the challenges that you have seen in operating?
The problems?
Yeah. It seems there's quite a lot of them.
I know. When you look at things from business approach, there are actually no problems. Because
you're making a lot of money.
No. Except for business approach, if you want to run a business enterprise, then you don't consider anything as a problem. When you get there, then you find how to get it solved. But I will narrow it down to like where Prof dropped the mic, the writers. We would have loved to have a situation whereby there is writers from the North writing about the North for the progress of the North. But before we can find something like, it is not necessarily going to be an academic book. People, apart when they leave schools after reading a lot of academic books, they want to read some other things apart from academic books. So that is the area where we come in. Now, there is need for writers that are properly trained in that aspect. If you want to write poetry, if you want to write fiction, if you want to write children literature, and most importantly, children books. We still lay emphasis on the fact that there are no children books for the North. By the North itself. Something to tell them that, okay, this is your root. This is where you grew up from. This is how your root links to this next stage of your life. We still need to find such books. And that's why you see parents trying as much as possible to solve this problem elsewhere. So the idea of there are no problems in selling the books. If you have the books, we will sell them. We'll publicize and sell them. But we really need to create a new market, a new writing that will solve a lot of problems. And that is the area we are looking into.
Okay, so you have both talked about, from your responses, there seems to be a problem of structure in the publishing industry in northern Nigeria and in Nigeria, in the terms of how the parts fit together, whether it's the mentorship, whether it's the editing, whether it's the publishing itself in terms of costs of publication, distribution, and marketing, and similar challenges, as it were, in terms of the structure. Now, I'm going to give you guys okay, you are the only one wearing a cap, but I'm going to give you a hot cap now. If you were to suggest from your experience so far with academic publishing and all of that, if you were to suggest 4 structural changes to the publishing industry in northern Nigeria, which would completely change the way things are operating, what would they be? I'll take you first, Professor.
Well, for any publishing work, I think what is most important with regards to the publisher is what is the vision and mission. And it's not only in publishing, even in your lives, you have to have a vision. What do you want to be? And then you can think of how do you make it. That's one thing that is paramount for any success in publishing. It is only when you have a vision and mission that you can strategize how to go about getting to the destination. That one has to be there. Once you have that, the issue of scouting for contributors, writers, even the issue of financing, which will include collaboration, becomes apt. So once we have that, of course, naturally, part of it too will also include marketing strategies and whatever. Who are your immediate target audience? And who are likely going to be your target audience? That is the existing and the anticipated one. And that is what I have observed that is lacking in some of the publishing houses in this country. Unfortunately, I will not be in a position to mention some of them. But some of them, they were having friends. They grew up after some time, probably because they got one type of sponsorship or patronage. And once it get there, they are down. It's because their mission was temporal, just to satisfy the existing need. And you are aware that this patronage left hand is one of the things that bastardize publishing in this country. Especially patronage either from local government or from the state or whatever. Oh, come, this is what you want. Can you get this for us? You do it. And then after some time, there is collapse. And once we are able to have that, for everything, you have to have your vision and mission. And once you have it, it helps you to galvanize and put things right and work. But certainly, I still believe that there is still a market and there is still opportunity for our existing publishers, though they are dying gradually. Instead of rising, they are dying. But they can still have a turnaround and still come to the stage, provided they are able to have an environmental understanding of the environment, the marketplaces, and so on. Once they are able to get that, lives become easy. But certainly the way we are going, well, I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. Prof has argued for situational awareness of publishing houses within their societies, their communities. And I think this is something that is very relevant in that we set up publishing houses or bookshops or even kiosks without actually doing a sort of scientific study of what exactly is needed. We rely so much on rule of thumb and all of that. So I think he's making a very interesting point as a professor of information services. Sciences. So, Nur'din, you have had experience with publishing of fiction, poetry, and you could say recreational books as opposed to academic books. If there were 4 structural interventions you would make in the publishing industry, whether in modern Nigeria specific or generally, what would these interventions be?
Well, the first one is to raise platform for discourses. Platform like this. When we have discussions, when we discuss around our problem, we come out with specific solution to pursue. Festivals, platforms for fellowships. People come around. People in the north, we have 19 states, and they have different level of literacy, different level of approach to reading. So if we want to tackle this, the first thing I would suggest is that there should be fellowship for discourses. Let us come together like this. And next time, this is a good platform. Let it be more generic. Let it bring a lot of people together, so that when we have discussions, when we have solutions, people will be able to say, okay, this is what we need to do. That's what we need to do. Then we'll be able to bring them out and take them to those who will help. When we literature and arts will always be an orphan if there is nobody to fund it. And in this part of the world, in Nigeria especially, there are no non-governmental institutions funding arts. So, and if government can fund other things that may not be directly relevant to our life, then we should be able to convince them to fund arts and literature. Then secondly is that there is need for a new writing. I give an instance of pacesetters. Between late 70s and mid 90s, we have what we call pacesetters. Pacesetters, the series is a form of popular literature, Until today, those who grew up with pesetas are still asking for it. Like 1.5 years ago, we tried to solve that problem by breaking into, not physically breaking. In terms of business, we broke into Macmillan warehouses around the country, brought almost 50 titles out. Like, let me say 20 copies of 50 titles. In less than a week, we can't find them. In fact, the ones I kept for my library, I had to sell it. So that is a writing that is peculiar to that period. We need a new writing. And if we don't want the generations coming after us to be consuming what we don't like, we need to raise new. So the other structure is raising new writers. And by what we have encountered on social media, in some other festivals, we realize that in the north, there are talents, though they are raw, they are not refined. But with training, with good training and good fellowship and good mentorship, we will have good writers that can push the industry forward. I think those two for now, probably later.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Nur'din. Okay, ever since the return of democracy, something around 99, there has been this renaissance in writing, in African writing, in Nigerian writing. I like to date this renaissance to 2001, when Helen Habila won the Kane Prize, and then that was when, from then on, we've had Chimamanda Adichie, Isi Osondu, and all these writers. So this idea of a renaissance, in your work in northern Nigeria, as an academic and as a publisher, have you noticed this renaissance? Has there really been a renaissance in writing, whether academic writing particularly, peculiar to northern Nigeria? Have a new class of writers, whether academics, have they come up? Who are the stars of this renaissance, if it exists? What platforms have they used to speak?
There has been, but at a slow pace rather. And in most cases, they are on their own. Just remember, I've just cited the example of one lady I met. It was, she had interest, and you know what she was writing on? She was writing on this that is ladies' beautification. That's what she wants to specialize in. It's a pity. I thought I had wanted to bring them to show as an example. So the Renaissance should be seen, should be tailored to specific thought. So when she decided to go on this, what happens? And whatever we produce, we take it to Kurmi. So what that means is that the publishers should owe it as a duty, as part of their responsibility, to be scouting around. They may even come to campuses, especially check from the website, who among those researchers are seen to be progressive. Have a chat with them. Do you think of an area, or can you help us think of an area that we can focus on and help us get some good talents? That to me is very easy, because as they are hidden strength. They are strengths, but they are hidden. They need to be scouted for and then encouraged. Just a little amount of sponsorship. They'll make way. And all this one, these ladies you have mentioned, it's true that they came on board. Because what is happening is, more often than not, when progressive writers write to say, oh, they have some manuscript, can you help us? The next thing they'll do, they'll look at the person and say, no, or just keep it, or no, forget about it. I know there is frustration, but the time you go to A, get negative response, B, negative response, and so on. So when there is this mutual collaboration, it makes it easy, because especially in the academics, they know who is good. They know one who can do something. So to me, we shouldn't continue repeating the same thing, thinking that we get the same result. There should be other options. When option A doesn't work, go for option B. They are there, and they need some little encouragement. Thank you.
Okay, so Nur'din, as a popular fiction writer and the owner of a bookshop, has there been a renaissance in modern Nigerian writing in the period you've been familiar with it? If there has been, who have been the stars of this renaissance, and what platforms? You could also give us an extra and tell us who are the writers we should look out for.
I got to the North 2007. That's 10 years ago. I've tried. And I realized my first encounter with literature or literary enterprise was a program organized by Association of Nigeria Authors in Mina Lapai then. And we had a lot of writers from most part of the North. Then, as a newbie in the North, so when they talked, when they discussed, critical review, I said, wow. But today, I can't find them. I don't know why. But if we want to talk about champions of Renaissance, I think I would choose readers, not writers, in the North this time around.
Interesting. Yeah, I think we should expand that.
And I would choose the Northern women. They read more than the men.
Okay. This side of the hall has been quiet, and I'm having claps from here.
We are still working on a particular statistics to show, to verify it has shown, but to ascertain that if we have 10 readers in the North, at least 7 of them are women.
So as a question, more women order books from Umar bookshops online than men?
More women, as in not even bestsellers. There was a day, JM Kotzi. Before you consider and say you want to read Kotzi, you must. Then somebody now asked for, we posted on our social media page, the title said, I need all the titles. I said, all the titles. So when I now checked the name, it started with Amina. I said, and she is a banker. She said, I read Kotzi. And that is how they read. No, you don't play with Northern women when it comes to book. I need that book. And they read more than the men. So if I want to give champion of Renaissance to not writers this time around, because most of the writers you mentioned, they are not even in Nigeria. And the ones in Nigeria, probably because of one reason or the other, except for those who write plays. And we have lost the culture of theater. And without theater presentation, plays is suspended in the air. So I give it to the Northern women.
Okay, there you go. Okay, this I think we should follow this rabbit down this hole. Professor, in terms of readership, you're also familiar, you've consulted very widely. In terms of readership and these alarming statistics that Nur'din has plied us with, it's a very good statistic, but then when the women are reading more than the men, then in one generation, what happens to the better women? Okay. So yes, what can you say about this this interesting statistic?
No, to me, that is good. As far as I'm concerned, that is good. And they need to be encouraged to read more. You know, one thing you look at it, please, I'll still keep on referring to the last discussion. When they talk about women, most of the time, they're at home. To me, that is the best option. make the best of the time. Do you get me? Do you realize that even this type of this cap making and so on, the women have overtaken men? It started with men, but go to places, Meduguri, Yola, and the rest of them, including Kano, Amay, Bede. Yes, it's not the handwork of women, not men. So to me, the women need to be clapped at. And
okay, let's hear it for the women.
And there's no harm in that.
Absolutely.
That means, and you know what? By the time the women are on this, you can imagine the type of offsprings that will come as a byproduct of their energy utilization. That means the children, and there will be a ripple effect. If it were the reverse, then that means something is wrong. To me, it's okay. And you should be encouraged. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Now, talking about encouraging reading, as publishers, I'm also a publisher amongst other things. How do you think we should go about encouraging reading? It's almost become a cliche now when we talk of the reading culture, the death of the reading culture. Almost whenever I hear reading culture, I'm almost tuning off, because it's something that you applied with, and for the last 10 years, everything, reading culture. But at the risk of playing with this phrase, what can we do practically to improve this reading culture, whether amongst young people, amongst the women who are already reading so much, and the men who apparently have not been reading enough? What can we do to encourage this?
I think the first thing I would suggest, with my own little experience, is there should be a school approach. Private schools are for businesses. Only very few of them want to know what happens to the intellectual capacity of our children. Just very few. So there is in Mina, we try to work with other stakeholders for some social responsibility, going to schools, giving them books, telling them about reading, organizing programs for them. I think the first approach should be school approach, both primary and secondary schools, talking about reading and talking about literacy. That is the first approach. And the second one is encouraging the writers amongst us, because reading is, as one funny thing, when you read to an extent, you want to start writing. You need an outlet so that you don't run mad up there. You need something to let it out. So we really need to encourage writers and train them professionally.
Okay, so Professor, same question as him. Yeah.
Well, I tend to have a different perception when you talk about reading culture.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, and conceptually, everyone is reading.
Okay.
Either in electronic format or print. But what are they reading for is what matters most. Everyone is reading. You see, when you talk about, for example, a majority of those that I know, they read for a particular purpose. What they call utilitarian reading. That one you can't deny it. But the misconception is that everybody should read any other thing. It depends. There are certain factors to be considered. It depends on the economic factor, on the social environment, and so on and so forth. Are you telling me that those who, even the Almajiris who stay and read during particular time, I came through the Almajiri system too. You read.
Yeah.
There are particular times of reading. Because if you, after reading, when you have your free time, that's when you go about, do all sorts of work and get some little money to take care of yourself. So when we are talking about reading, let's be specific. Reading for what? Ask that question. Reading for what? Is it for leisure? And more importantly, now with this social media, if we go by that, we can equally say that probably up to 80% of the population don't read. Because you have more time with your handset and everything. One of these, I was asked to come and write a paper about 2 years ago, and I had my survey. I discovered that even between husband and wife, they don't have much time for each other. They are busy with their phone, Instagram, name it. Are you saying that they are not reading? But why? So so what is most important? I want to repeat myself again. Is identification of striking themes and encouraging people to write on it and then advertising it, or rather promoting it in one way or the other. That can help a lot. I give you another example. These days, when you go to the market, you find small pamphlets about do it yourself. You remember that American time of do it yourself?
Yeah, DIY.
If you want to raise poultry, this is how you do it. If you want to fishery, this is how to do it. People go for those type of literature these days to read. Are you telling me that they are not reading? They are reading. What is most important is, if you talk about realization, then there is much from the publishers. What do you think it can be written on that will encourage people to move away from much of the utilitarian reading to this general reading? That's all. Once we can do that, less energy will be wasted in terms of encouraging people to read. Okay. Look at the social media. From the printing perspective, it will work. If you read, oh, get me, have you read this one? Oh, no, I haven't. Get it. I don't have money. Get this one, go and read it. When you finish, give it back to me. You see how the wonders. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're running out of time, so I want to throw it open to the audience and take, oh, wow, okay, good. Okay, so we're going to start with Kola Tubosun. Yeah. The mic? Okay, good.
Thank you. My question is to Nur'din. As a private bookseller and publisher, you have these vantage points of knowing exactly what people want. And from the discussion we've had and what you've said, you know that people read and you know what kind of things they read, and it turns out that many times they want to read foreign books, etc. But if we're looking for opportunities to find new writers from this part of the country, even if they're not read within this side of the country, we know that it's possible that they're read, elsewhere as well, because the taste of people want to read things from different places. So, as a publisher, what do you think you can do as a private enterprise to find writers here and to market them enough for people outside of this region or within this region to be able to read it? Thank you.
Yeah, please. No. Okay, just note it so that we take as many questions, then we deal. Then we move to this side. Okay, it's a good one. Okay, President of ANA, Benja Abdullahi, let's thank you for gracing us with your presence, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm happy that this particular panel has thrown up some peculiar problem that we've been neglecting in the book industry, and that is the issue of literary agency. The Prof and Nur'din have said so many things about it. And when you look at the beginning of literature in northern Nigeria, it started through what we can call the issue of literary agency. There were people who sat down and said, look, we must bring out writers from here. Rupertists and the rest, they consciously went out to discover and bring up talents. And that was how we had all these names we had, Imam and the rest of them. Now, in the book chain in Nigeria today, when you say the writer, the publisher, the marketer, the bookseller, something is missing, and that has been the problem where how we've not been getting quality writing. And that is the absence of the literary agent. The person who discovers writers who look at the trends and look at the people with some talent that can be nurtured to fulfill those trends. It has been lacking, and that's a very big problem. Abroad, in the Western world, this happens. People come to you and say, you're a writer, you write this kind of work. Why not go to this area? That is how we have bestsellers and co. When we look at it very well, that is what happens. Then the second issue is, and that's the link, the missing link in the book chain, the literary agency. And I know some individuals have encouraged to go into that. I've encountered somebody who read English and a lady, I don't have work, I'm not employed. Look, you read literature, you read this. Go into this area, start with this. And the lady is doing very well. Some of you know the lady is doing very well in terms of being a literary agent. It's a field. Then we also look at the issue of leadership research and survey. Yes. You don't just write. Anyhow, you study. You probably a publishing agency. You just want to be a publisher. Publisher of what? What is your philosophy of publishing? What do you want to nurture? Now, leadership survey is also lacking. The publishing houses, are you doing leadership survey? Do you go about to survey what people like to read? Do writers even wonder what they write that people like to read? That is lacking. And the people that have been fulfilling all these missing services are the associations. For example, when we talk of ANA, a lot of this I'm talking is what we do. Literary agency. We should not be doing it with our writers. The writers should simply write and end it there. Other people should take this thing further. And when the writer is overburdened with writing, we're trying to promote himself, we try doing his own agenda and the rest of them, you find out the quality of what we produce as writers and could keep going down. This is just my submission. Thank you. Okay,
I'll take two more from here, then we deal with that, then we move here. Okay, you?
Such as the Wattpad, where writers just Wattpad, blogs, writers just write and then they post, and anybody can see it for free. Don't you think we're missing the original content? Now, what happens to the originality of the writer? And where does a writer even go? A writer feel you have written a book. Okay, where do I look for a publisher now? Are publishers readily available to publish your work as a writer? Thank you.
Okay, and final question from this side. Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I'm a brand manufacturer. I don't know, probably I'm in the wrong place. Well, it's a straightforward thing.
Thank you.
I know the panel is in English, and probably we're talking about publishing in English, as that's the most important thing to take home about. As soon as you start talking about English writing, English publishing, and English reading in northern Nigeria, then probably you have to now start taking statistics of who are supposed to be the writers in that language and who are supposed to be the readers in that language. Northern Nigeria is an amorphous area as a whole. So, and I know in terms of population, when you look at the population of Northern Nigeria, the readers we are supposed to now go after, they are probably somewhere doing something else. When you think about the readers in Hausa, readers in Idoma, readers in all the other major languages of Northern Nigeria, are we now talking about them, or we are talking about general readers? Generally. Why am I saying this? I like the Arab revolution in MENA, but I would love to know, in the last 10 years, how many books are they able to sell? How many books after 10 years? Because this has been the tradition in Northern Nigeria. You will establish a publishing outfit for a particular time. I can reel out 10 or 12 that came in, died, and nothing is heard about them. I was part of it. First publication was there since 1994. We died. Ibrahim Shemi came up with his Informat. He did well and he died. So many of these are there. So I like the revolution from here, but are they really making it? Are they really in business? Or are they just waiting to die? After 20 years. Okay, thank you. I heard him talking about they are only in business. Probably they're not even making even. Richard is also into it. I'm sure he is facing the same kind of problem. So if we really want to do the right thing, I think we should start from the basics. The basics. Are we sure we're into publishing? And if we're into publishing, what are we publishing and for who? And who is rating? Okay. Because I'm sure there is a missing link somewhere, and that missing link is what we are now trying to see if we can be able to go into it. Most of us who grew up reading as a something which is part of us, we were made to read because we have the school text. Most of the things we read because they are forced on us. There's either through WAEC, NECO, JAM, RJNB, and whatever you can call it. Yeah. That's why some of us were really forced to go into it. What are we doing as publishers to see if you can go into that particular aspect? Because that's what is missing. Okay. JAM will take your book and then put it on their syllabus or whatever they call it, and then you are expected to produce 10,000 books. 10,000 books for the whole country? Is that enough? But that is the minimum. Yeah. Can AMAP publish 10,000 books? I don't think they can. The best they can do probably is 1,000, if they are even lucky. So you see, it is a multi-dimensional thing. A problem. I'm sure if you can be able to now partner with the government, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. If you can be able to partner with government, this is a very good initiative. But then you have to sit down and then work out something. Yes. How do we now make the publishers real publishers? How do we make the readers real readers? And how do you know whether they are reading or they are not reading? Because if you can sell just about 500 books in a year, to me you are a failure. In Northern Nigeria, with nearly 50 million people, and you are selling only 500 books in a year, and you call yourself what? A publisher. That's why I say if you can now go to Kano, I took a statistic of Kano as a center of this kind of writings. I know Richard is aware of that, and some of us are aware of that. With, just from January to June, I ordered for the books published in the Hausa language. And I have now in my office 3,500 books from January to June in various facets. Just somebody was saying that women are now the bulk is women writers in Northern Nigeria. Even in the Hausa language, there are 70%, more than 70% are women writers, and even the readers are women. And these people are making it. Daily, you find a book coming out. Daily. What are we doing to go into that and see how we can be able to what? Move that particular industry forward? But I'm here, I'm only talking about English. And that's what I can do about it. But you can move in. You can be able to what? Get the target audience. Let's see how we can be able to move the industry forward.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're entirely out of time. We are absolutely out of time. Okay, can I have an extra 5 minutes? Okay, 3 minutes. Okay. Gideon Dobino, you have 30 seconds. Professor Diwa, 30 seconds.
No problem.
Question, and then we take everything together.
My name is Abdullah Gideon Dobino, writer, publisher, film producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Professor Amalampashi. My question to you, Nura and Richard Ali. how many titles did you publish in indigenous languages, sir? You are a publisher like me. I'm asking you how many.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Professor, why you said establish publishers dead? Why?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Professor Giwa? Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
It's really a question. The argument about readership, I'm more than glad to own up to the fact that the 70% statistics even being magnanimous in favor of the men. I'm a witness to one shop here in Kaswambachi one day when I went to market one of my books. And the title of the book is Yarinya. And they thought it was a Hausa text. So when I went there, they said I should wait for the managing director to come. Nobody asked me whether it was a Hausa text or not. But I waited for 1 hour. Now within the 1 hour I waited, believe me, I began to count the traffic of women coming in and going out of that shop. If I was going to within that 1 hour, there are over 500 of them. And all of them buying books. All of them buying books. Now, you see, the kind of market thing is beautiful because they do it in such a way that there is quantity and there is quality. Now, because there is quantity, the price is low. And the women can afford it. And because they are not over-ambitious, they write 50 pages, 100 pages, and people find comfortable to read. Do you understand? So the thing is that if our publishers are going to be conscious of it, mass production is one. You need to mass produce so that your price can come down. You need to tell your writers to write go to the point as quickly as you can because people no longer have time. People no longer have time.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
You understand?
Okay, so you have 1 or 2 minutes to just do a salad response to everything. So you just have 2 minutes, then 2 minutes to the professor, and we call it a day. Okay? Huh? Okay, or can we start with Prof? So just give us a salad of the various questions.
Do you know one interesting thing? I just remember what Ben Bruce always say when he talks on the silver. He say just to make your common sense, and that is what I have done and have succeeded. Apparently, all that have been said can be keyed into my presentation. Naturally, when there is no correlation between production and demand, you can't expect any sustenance. And that is exactly what is happening. And that is why I said that our publishers will have to study the environment. What does the environment need? Give them what they want. If you give them what they want, you prosper. But if it's the other way around, they will rise and they will kill. Because, as I said, that type of patronage of publishing in this country kills. You can be giving, it doesn't matter, 50 million, go and do this. And once that one is over, she can back to square one. You have to know your environment, what is their need, and you go for that, and they will be satisfied. That's why I said I have a different perspective when you talk about the reading culture.
Yeah.
To me, people are reading, and they will continue to read. But what are they reading for? And what are they reading?
Reading.
Chicken.
Thank you very much. Okay, so Nur'din, 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap up.
I won't take up to 2 minutes.
Good.
All the arguments are valid. They are concrete. They are valid, and they are just support to way forward. We also try to look critically into the fact that there are differences between printing and publishing. But the present northern readership needs printing. But that does not mean that we should just cancel publishing as well. Publishing takes much time, and quality books, and definitely they have to be expensive one way or the other. So, and printing is also good. So what we are trying to do presently is to just search for writers. There will be a structure. We tell guys that if you can write, especially on children books, if you can write to satisfy so this theme for this age, please do this. In the next few months that will come up, we raise just few set of people, then we see how far we can go.
Thank you very much. I think it's been a very lovely panel, but with both extremes of perceptions brought into wear on this issue. So before we go, I'm going to say one thing about the Hausa market literature, but because the panel is English-centric, so we've not really stopped on that. But personally, even I am interested in publishing in Hausa, and maybe this is the first place I'll mention it. We're working towards putting a new press together called Gidan Kalma, and it's going to be a Hausa press and a Hausa website, which will be literary oriented. So I recognize the markets, and it's something that I hope we can add more structure to. I thank you for being a wonderful audience, and Lola Shanain for letting me chair this lovely panel. Thank you very much.
While you're posing for your group photo, I just wanted to mention that the Gusso, is it Gusso? Gusau? Okay, Gusau. So, there is a new Aliyu Mohammed Gusso Prize, 500,000 Naira for writing in Hausa. You should please check out their website. It was announced yesterday at the launch, in case you missed it. And there's also that, the residency. So do a bit of research, and let's grow this. It's so important and it's fascinating. Now, on that note, the next session is in Hausa. I don't know if you're aware, but that next one with Awalu Anwa, Ms. Hafsat Abdulwahid, and Ms. Balaraba Ramat Yakubu will... She's a what? Is it Balarabe? Huh? Balaraba. Okay, Balaraba. Isn't that what I said? I said Balaraba. And because it's Balarabe, so I just thought you changed the last vowel. Okay, Balaraba. So it's going to be in Hausa. Don't forget, just letting you know. And we're going to start in about 12 minutes. So please take a break. Thank you so much.